Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream. We're going to start this one off by pressing the dirt button because I couldn't make up my mind. Do I want to stream Mindustry or Hermitcraft? And I actually really wanted to stream Hermitcraft, but then I thought, we're getting close to finishing Mindustry. Let's just get that done and have fun with it. And yeah, I log in and I'm like, hang on a minute, we've done everything we need to do in this game. Okay, clearly I like it, clearly I want to play it more. But, yeah. So, I had set up all my streaming to do Mindustry, and now we're doing Hermitcraft. So that's what's happening right now. First thing I'm going to do is actually fly away from this beautiful, beautiful area. Also, a couple of dead souls on the server, a couple of the living. I say couple, it's just B-dubs. Unless he's two people. How does this even work? Anyway, we've got bananas in chat from Winnie T. Ford, Father of Apocalypse, a zombie MC, Sprinkles and Wrinkles. Thank you for bananas in chat. We did that a minute ago. We did all of that. All the bananas in chat. That rhymes. Wow, server's not loading today, is it? Oh, I've been getting ropey connections later in the day, which is kind of annoying. Also, my next live stream will be from Hermitcraft as well, and that will be in like 2 days' time on Sunday, similar time of day, 8 till 10. One of the reasons I'm streaming late today is, well, just because other things are going on, but getting used to doing a bit of a late stream, you know. Warkalana says, why is the hotbar slightly cut off? It's because the window's bigger than the stream. Let's go change that a little bit. Do you have tea today? On Salma with the message of the stream. I have a hot cup of tea, and thanks to the little delay with Mindustry, it's probably perfect time to drink it, right? Oh, it is. It is. Also, noises in the ear. From the previous stream, Ida Kira is here for 3 months saying, sorry about that, Asuma Void. I never had server internet issues, but I am back now. How's everything? I don't know what you're apologising for, but welcome back. Everything is good. Orangelo is here for 33 months saying, oh hey. Thank you, Orangelo. Welcome back, dude. H. Sticky F is here for 29 months saying, loving the Mindustry content this past month. Playing it with my boys, 10 and 12 years old, on a family server now after I saw you start playing. That is awesome. Good to hear. As you know, we're no longer playing it. I will continue to play it, I think, in my own time. I have it on my iPad, and I like to, when I have a bit of downtime, just pick that up and I play in this world where, you know, I'm just slowly advancing. But having seen the end of the tech tree and played the game all the way through, it's one of those things now where I'm probably just going to stop playing the game at some point and then never play it again. I've been through this experience so many times. I know what I'm like with computer games. Once I've seen the end of it, that's kind of it for me. So I'll keep an eye for future updates, you know, but it doesn't look like the game gets updated very often. So we'll see how it goes, you know, but that might just be it for that game from me for now. HGC20 is here for 6 months saying, Mindustry, Hermitcraft, I'd like to watch both. Well, unfortunately, I can't play both at the same time. That is not a thing I can do. Valcab33 is here for 2 months saying, hi, hope you're having a nice day. I'm having a great day, thanks for asking. It's a wonderful day. We also got a noise in the ear donation here from Graviola, or Graviola. I think I'm saying that right. 20. Graviola 20, don't forget about the 20, saying, thanks for Vanilla Tweaks and Auto Clicker. Well, don't thank me, my friend. Thank the Vanilla Tweaks team. It's all really in their hands these days. And Mon PJC for making that clicker happen. Couldn't have done it without them. But dude, thank you ever so much for the donation. I appreciate it. Just watched Joker. Have you seen it? Says Araya Chatterjee. I have not seen it yet. Wait, does it come out on... Is it out on Blu-ray? No, it's not out on Blu-ray yet. I'm confusing it with another movie. I went and brought some Blu-rays today. And got a couple of movies that I've been waiting to see for a while. But Joker's one of them. That's on my list to watch. Graviola is a topical fruit. I would like to, if it's a fruit, I would like to try it. Lizzie, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day at work, though. Are we watching someone ride the rail? Is someone riding the rail? I could have swore I saw someone riding the rail. On a horse. That's not how it works, False. That's not how it works. Use a minecart. Oh yeah, look, we spent all the time putting the snow blocks around this area, didn't we? And it was when you had that bug where it didn't update the block below, so we got loads of grass there as well. Fascinating. Arangelo says, X, have you heard of the game Baba Is You? I've seen it a couple of times on YouTube and it seems like you'd enjoy it a lot. I've not heard that. As always, tweet them at me, then I go check it out, and based on what I see, I might, you know, do something with that. I think we should put the beacon in range of these two, because they need doing. But I was thinking maybe on top of that. But actually, the best place is probably up there. Right sort of in the middle of the areas where it would get some use. And yes, it would look very silly, but it'd also be temporary. Or we could put it underground. That is another option. It's slower to put it underground. That is for sure. I think I might actually just put it underground. I could just use this space down here for now. But I should be wise and put it in a place where it's not going to be in the middle of a golf course. So let's have it so it goes under that wall there. So the base itself could probably use up some of this space here quite easily. So if I remember correctly, the base, let's see, it's 3 by 3, then 5, 7, it's 9. I'm pretty sure it's 9. Brad Jensen says, hey X, do you actually like posting on YouTube? Or if there was a different platform, would you prefer that? I mean, I'm fond of YouTube and I like YouTube because I've, you know, been on this platform for a while. Obviously, with the latest controversies going around, there's reasons, as always, to question being on YouTube, I think. The atmosphere is turning. The problem is, there really isn't a viable alternative. So, I don't feel it's particularly productive to really, I don't know, say that I would move or would not, because it's not really a question I'm faced with, right? You know, the original thing that you said just kind of like went completely out of my head. Oh, Rob Cat is here subscribing with Amazon Prime. Little Joe 27 is here for 20 months saying hi. Little Joe, thank you for 20 months of support. That's incredible. And Volon Kin is here subscribing with the Prime as well. Thank you ever so much. Can't thank you enough. Appreciate it. Anyway, I was thinking about it earlier today, all this controversy on YouTube. And the thing is, if you really wanted there to be an alternative to YouTube, you can, well, you can't really, this is the thing I was thinking about, right? Like, it's the establishment, you can't escape it, kind of thing. But can you? You don't have to use YouTube. If you hated it that much, you could tune out and never use it again, but all the things that you like are on there. So it's the fact that it's a platform that is probably the problem, right? It should be treated like a public space, I think, more and more. Hey X, are your favourite colours still orange and blue, or have you changed? I will never change. Blorange forever. Until the day I die. And on my deathbed I'll say, red and green. Oh, that was the lamest joke ever. But hey, that's what I aim for. Aim low and get successful, you know? Can't go wrong with lame jokes. They're lame. That's what they're designed for, peeps. How do you make your offhand small, says Hen. That is a Vanilla Tweaks feature right there, and Vanilla Tweaks has been updated to 1.15. And setting up video streaming servers and getting revenue streams set up is quite costly, says 8erg. Yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking as I was saying it. I was like, yeah, there are restrictions in the world, right? Financial X, if your favourite colours are orange and blue, then why is your skin green and purple? Because when I made my skin, I said, I must make my skin with my favourite colours. It's a rule! You have to make a skin with your favourite... You can't What do you mean, try and make a skin with colours that aren't your favourite? Shut up, you're crazy. You know? Anyway, I did a derp, and it turns out I didn't do blue and orange. You know, what a derp. Do you know what's a bigger derp? Not changing it since. Oh, I was supposed to change it this morning. Just forgot again, you know. Big Up says, I'd usually agree with your opinions on your Asuma Says video, but the Rewind one, I thought the Rewind video was kind of lazy and should have made the style more like the 2012 one, but still featured top vids. Big Up, lots of people said that, and I think their points are actually pretty fair. It's one of the reasons I like dialogue, and, you know, when you have like a one-way thing going on, like me sitting down and talking about it, it's really good to have someone throw something back at you when you say, hey, I think this or that, right? Because I realised, yeah, actually, a lot of you are right. Now, I think what I said in the video is pretty true to some extent, that a lot of whatever YouTube will do now will be a place for people to throw rocks at them, right? Because so many people are frustrated with YouTube. In the case of this Rewind video, though, it doesn't mean that, you know, because people are angry at YouTube that's the only reason, which obviously it's not the only reason, but I kind of played it up as such, right? I think it's actually really quite valid. Yeah, the video format was pretty dull. It was pretty dull, and, you know, I saw people hating on it, and some of them were saying things like that, but I kind of looked at it as people just diverting their general frustrations onto it, which I'm sure there was some of that. But anyway, personally, see, the thing is though, like, if I see a video like that, I've got no investment in YouTube Rewind. I don't really care very much. It's just a thing that happens every year, and you look at it and it's like, oh, look at that train wreck. But that was really harsh. I'm only messing around. Yeah, I'm not invested in it, so when it's not good, it doesn't really bother me. So I kind of saw that and went, top 10 list, you know, play it safe, whatever. See, people not only wanted it to be different from last year's, they didn't want them to play it safe and do something like that, I guess, which is a reality. So, how much space do we need down here? I'm going to go down by 2 more blocks. I think that would be more than enough height for what we could potentially do down here. And then we're just going to clear out a big area. Now, it just so happens I kind of need some stone blocks and andesite. It'd be nice if we found a little andesite patch down here. We'll just start to clear out the space and then we'll make use of it later. Might also be a good idea to get camera count on here and do a little bit of x-ray just to see what's like behind here. I know there's other... In fact, I'm going to do that right now because there's other redstone-y stuff in the area. What am I doing? Yeah, I've selected my camera count. I have a problem in Discord. My nickname is Fotsy Player. I can't register. Dude, use the help channel in there to get registered. X said Python had signed off for the season in your latest episode. Is that true? Says Wincent01. Yes, it is. I don't know if... Actually, do you know what? I don't know if Python officially came out and said that he was done with Hermitcraft for this season. But... I'm looking at my camera account now. But he did sort of say it in his tweets that he was, like, finishing his Python's world and focusing on this, that, and the other. So, I think it's mostly obvious. Do you know what I'm just going to do here? I think I'm just going to stick to... Oh, right. Oh, right. Yeah, I've just realised that there is... yeah. Okay. So, there is the... Oh, let's get the right one up. There we go. There is the room to which we explain the game back here, right? There it is. That's the wall of that room. Now we've got double sound because of the camera count. Gonna move it up into the sky for a second. Jevon's also ended his season as well. It's been a long season. And a couple of people are stepping down. Which is fair enough. You know, some people need time to recharge. Personally, I just play, don't I? There's quite a few of us that do that. Just happy to keep playing. I mean, for me, like, resetting it comes every now and then, and it's fun when it happens, but I personally just like the end game so much, you know? Like, a reset to me means how long can I get to this point again? Like, you know? I can do all this crazy cool building again. Because you can't do this in the beginning of the game. You can't make a golf course, you know? Right, I'm going to fill this in over here, because we're not digging in that direction now. And we got Henkel Max for 24 months. That's 2 years, my friends. Diamond Face in chat. Thank you ever so much, Henkel Max. We've also got Airman891 resubscribing for 3 months in a row, saying, already 3 months? Went so fast. Keep up the good months. Well, technically it's 2 months. That's probably why it went fast. Also, Big Up and Hen have subscribed as well. Thank you ever so much to the both of you. I've got a hot cup of tea right here that I'm going to continue drinking. Ian Ain says, do you want Season 7 to start? Haven't you run out of ideas? I haven't run out of ideas, because if Season 7 started tomorrow, guess what I'd be doing? Working my way to this point here, so then I could play the end game. I mean, it startles me a little bit how much people want resets and want... Ah, yeah, we can't use that bit there. And how they, like, want to see the early game, when Hermitcraft prides itself on not being about the early game to some extent, right? Maybe not prides itself, but if you just think about what Hermitcraft is every season, no one's going, remember that bit where they, like, mine diamonds for the first time? No one's remembering that. That's the boring stuff. It's all about the crazy cool builds and things we do along the way, and you need to get to this point to do all that. So, you know, if I run out of ideas, then I'm not playing Hermitcraft, basically. It doesn't matter what season it is. Because the restarting of a season doesn't mean too much to me. I do get to reset the palette to some extent and think about different ways of doing a base and whatnot. But, you know, I could always go and start yet another base on this season if I wanted to. But I played very decentralized and just doing projects all over the place, which I've been enjoying. So I guess there is that, a way to kind of reframe your experience, but for the most part, it's Minecraft. It's the same game, right? Updates are probably the big game changes. Ian says he finally picked my comment yet said my name wrong. It's a feature. I always say the names wrong. We got Veggie Louver here doing cheers and bits, saying the last time I went camping I accidentally played instead of dead. Sorry, I accidentally played Dad instead of dead when I encountered a bear. I can now ride a bike without training wheels. Say what? Last time we went camping, accidentally played Dad instead of dead when he encountered a bear. Now I can ride a... I don't understand what that is, Veggie Lover. Veggie Louver. Sorry, I almost said it correctly. Veggie Lover. Jeez. Thank you for the cheers and bits, dude. The Fosh Gamming is here for 8 months, saying, love your videos and streaming. You inspire what I build and more. Keep up the great work. Thank you for the lovely message, dude. Glad you're inspired. Glad you are inspired. Inspiration is the thing, isn't it? It's the thing! I don't know what thing it is. I was looking for some sort of beautiful quote to add on that, but I don't have one. Sorry, not inspired enough for a beautiful quote. Oh, jeez, lacking inspiration over here. When will you update to the Buzzy Bees update, says a Lil Jimmy Gamer. We will update to 1.15 a week after its release if Optifine hasn't come out by then. If Optifine comes out sooner, then we'll update sooner. But that was our decision as a group. Right. And that is some pretty good, well done clearing out, I think. I would like to make this area a little bit bigger if possible, but I also don't know what we're going to do in this area. So this is where we, okay, you and I get to brainstorm together. How can we make the weirdest, wackiest, crazy cool golf course down here? I've got an idea already popping into my head. Already, you say? Oh, you are on a roll today, Asuma. Already with the ideas. Jeez, calm down. Okay, this might be useful. So might that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, really. The player is going to pop down here along with the ice from above. So there'll be some sort of chute and the ice ball will land here. The place they have to get to is over on this side. That'll end up being a soul sand block, and somehow we'll have to put in a water stream that everything can travel up. I've got some ideas on how to do that, I tell you. We got Zwinders71 for 2 months saying thanks for the videos. Zwinders, thank you for the subscription, appreciate it. Randomised ice roads to dump the ball in different areas, says Cycle Squirrel. Possibly. Question X, I was in a chat on full-on rebooting versus regenerating in new chunks in a new world from a previous version. How difficult do you feel a second option is for someone to accomplish? I have no idea what rebooting versus generating in new chunks means. No idea. Big Up says, what do you think about famous rappers like XXXTentacion, Lil Pepe, and recently Gfuel dying? Do you follow any rappers like those? If so, did you listen to them? Not any of those three, but when I grew up, like Biggie and Puck have been killed, and it's a career option with some casualties, for sure. I don't know really what you want me to say about it. It's pretty tragic that that happens. Let's see. More of that we're gonna need. What was the thing? Oh yeah, soul sand. The sand for the soul. Lol, Lil Pepe, says Fatal X55. That's the way it was written. Do you mean Lil Peep? Man, I guess it's the culture of hip-hop music, you know. It produces that, inevitably. Not to point the finger or really aim that at anyone, but it's a thing, right? Activation says, I honestly hate rap. I don't hate rap. I don't like hating on stuff, though. Especially when it's music. I mean, music brings us joy. Music is a wonderful thing. Emmon says, when I heard about John Lennon, I was shocked. Yeah, I mean, all deaths are generally shocking, right? Right, so I'm thinking, if we just look at the size of this room, it already gets small once you put in the essential details, but we do have the kind of opportunity to make things feel interesting in this room, I believe. So that's a good thing. Now, where you go from here is not entirely obvious. We can actually... Now, okay, so I can replace some of the blocks there to make a wall. What I can also do is not replace some of these ones. So I can build my own wall in this space is the point. Got to think about it, all of it, you know. So then, if we look at the distance between them, it's actually an odd amount of blocks. Oh, that's so annoying. Is it really? Even, not odd. Let's try that, double check. Because I'd like to put a glass wall between them, I was thinking. But I can't even do that. I can't even do that. Maybe we could use trapdoors, like back to back. Scooby-D23 is here for 4 months saying, thanks for being my study buddy while I study for finals. I'm very worried about the study buddy, okay? I don't know what I'm saying that might be getting into your brain. You know? The Warfish Gaming, aka the Warfish Gaming. Is, only me's laughing at that one. Is here gifting subs to Just Bot Plays and Candy Cane Nomad. Thank you so much for gifting the subs. Appreciate it. Very kind of you to do that. Thank you for supporting the community. We got It's Linksy here, subscribing with Amazon Prime. It's Linksy. Thank you ever so much for that Prime subscription. Appreciate it. The music is really chill. I love it, says Satanistic Angel. Don't you want some heavy metal, some screaming and shouting? Satanistic Angel. How dare you chill out to the music? Stefan says, X, have you seen Zed's new minigame? I've seen bits of it. It looked really, really cool. Punk Hazardous is here subscribing with Amazon Prime, and Sally Ann 123 is here for 49 months in a row, saying late to the party. 49 months. Where that time gone? Keep up the awesome content. X, have a great stream. Sally Ann, thank you ever so much for your support. I appreciate it. 49 months, that is crazy. Cheesiest is here, resubscribing for 4 months, saying hooray! An next stream when I am home and can watch it. Awesome, glad to have you with us. Reddy says, I love heavy metal. Really? All that shouting and screaming? Oh, they just bang the drums and thrash their hands on the guitar. They're not real musicians. Jeez. Airman says, sorry for saying this, but what about the referendum? It was interesting, wasn't it? You mean the election? There wasn't a referendum. No, it wasn't very interesting for me. I mean, my history of being able to vote and voting and elections has just been disappointment, disappointment, disappointment. No surprise to anyone here that I would vote Labour, right? And I don't want to get into a whole thing about Labour are rubbish or whatever. The Conservatives, like, I'm not interested in arguing about it with people because it doesn't have to be that big a deal, right? I get it if people want to vote Conservative. You know, worldviews are different. People are exposed to different sorts of information. And they have different opinions about who they're going to vote for, and that's fine. That's fine. But it was so not what I expected, right? Now, I ain't no political expert. I can't predict, you know, who's going to win the election, what's going to happen, what the climate is, and all that kind of stuff. But I can have a little bit of a theory, right? Surely I can have a little bit of a theory. And I was thinking, after all the chaos we've had with the Tories in commands, you know, surely it's going to swing the other way a little bit. People are going to be fed up with the Tories not going to be able to get stuff done. But no, you know, not at all. Apparently, that's what people want. And I was a little bit baffled. Because it wasn't just like they gained a few seats. They won. They totally won outright, and that shows a huge shift. And I can't help but feel, I mean, here's the thing. It's just a thought, just a feeling, in no way really backed up by anything substantial. But if I were to have a wild guess, I would think that perhaps people are just getting sick to death of Brexit and just want it to be done with. And you got Boris Johnson saying he'll get it done ASAP, and Corbyn was basically being neutral about it, and maybe that backfired. Orbiter Fold says they won. How did that happen? They got the most votes. Simple and plain. It doesn't happen that way where I live. The Premier is screwing everyone over, and people are just upset they voted for this and are shocked, just shocked that this would happen. Well, I don't know where you are from because you didn't specify, and I don't really know much about politics elsewhere anyway. I don't really know a lot about what's going on over here, but yeah, it just, I don't know. Just it's that similar feeling. I say similar, it happens once every few years, but it's been like this for a while, it feels like. Whoa, 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 political sumo, I don't mind it, but geez, that's insane that this is so important to England, says Mutt Music. Oh, well, the importance of politics is usually something to do with apathy. If you don't think it's important, it's probably because you're apathetic to it. I mean, it's literally how our societies are governed and run, right? The people that do all of that, it's kind of hugely important and shapes your life and world in ways you might not even realise half the time. You know, so if you're apathetic for it and it doesn't interest you, that's absolutely fine. I can totally get why you'd be apathetic with politics. Not a problem. But to say that it's not important, or it might not be important to you, but it undoubtedly shapes your life, right? This is just not enough space down here to really build anything interesting. That's the problem. Look, I'm already thinking, alright, now I've got next to no space to make something interesting happen down here. Maybe I've taken the wrong approach here. I think I have. Let's try and ease up more space, because this doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere. I just need to put... Here we go. Need to put some things away, really. Excuse me. Anyway, for our Brits in the chat, any thoughts and opinions from all of you about it? Let's go throw down some torches so this area stays lit up. Exile fan says it was how I expected it. Well, what made you expect that then? Certainly wasn't what I was expecting. Princess Goff says I thought everyone was sick of them. Yeah, usually when you think if you think in terms of everyone, you probably find there's a broader spectrum of opinions out there than you might assume. I was upset they got in as I also voted Labour. The NHS in danger, says Acid 100 UK. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll probably see the death of the NHS under the Tories. That would not be surprising in the slightest. The majority of voters aren't online and discussing or learning about others. They're at home and reading newspapers and watching TV, says Exile fan. That's a very good answer, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? You could say. Need to kind of figure out how close this is getting to the hill, so we know how much space we have. I'm gonna grab my camera account and go down a bit. Might make sense to go down a couple of blocks so we can gouge more space. Yeah, we're actually very close over in this corner. We can probably go like an extra block. And now we've got the double noise, which we don't want. I want a pixelated pufferfish eating carrot skin. Can someone make it? I need it, says Draco Spin. I mean, if someone's going to do that for you, that's pretty cool of them, but like just asking that in a random chat, probably not a great way to get something like that done. Yeah, you know, the real trick might have been to have gone down like lower by 10 blocks or something, because then I would have been under everything else. Isn't it just the way things go? You spend 30 minutes in a world digging and then you're like, oh, everything I've done here is kind of useless. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to go lower overall. X, I have an excellent idea for the minigame you could do. The game about an ice pitch where there is lava blocks below. People could try to make people fall off the pitch with snowballs. Sounds alright. By the way, we've had noises in the ear that I've just been ignoring. Jeez, terrible. We got G-Stav here for 46 months saying the reverse stack. Possibly, yeah, the reverse stack. Speeder2889 is here doing cheers and bits saying, are you going to update the Hermitcraft server to 1.15? Yeah, we will update it when we're ready to update it. Thank you for the cheers and bits, dude. Penduluft is here subscribing. Taubar is gifting a sub to BG Monster X1 fan. Hey! BG Monster with the gifted sub again. Taubar, very kind of you to do that. BG, be sure to send a love heart Taubar's way and say thanks. And thank you for doing that, Taubar. Very kind of you. FlossyFlow99 is here with the Prime for 3 months saying, hey X, really glad to see your streaming after the results of the election and handing in my last piece of work for the semester. It's great to be able to tune in and just chill while I knit away my problems. Knit them away, FlossyFlow. Knit them away. Knit them into oblivion, okay? Yeah, the result can stress you out, but you know, been through it before. You just got to forget about it now, and get on with it. Pony Hunter says, so I have an interesting topic I just heard about from a friend. Their school just locked all the gender-neutral bathrooms from use since other kids were found vaping and other activities in them. No one in the community have been told except the teachers and a few of the students. Pony Hunter, it's so funny you say that because I was watching a documentary about vaping on Netflix and they were talking about this phenomenon of kids going into bathrooms and getting into these little vaping clubs in there. It's been described as an epidemic, and it really does sound like one when you realise how far the vaping thing has spread out and how many teens are getting hooked on it. It almost sounds like it's more addictive than smoking. They put like a crazy amount of nicotine into the vaping thing, and these kids are getting hooked on it. It's really quite sad. Didn't I have the one with those trapdoors open? No, apparently not. Chuck those up there. Oh, and that must be the other thing that I wanted. My axe. My chopping axe. That one. Yes, there we go. At my school, not many people vape in school. They do it out, says Big Up. Well, that's an interesting observation, because vaping can get you hooked on the nicotine, and sitting out like a nicotine, you know, you craving for like a whole day. That's like pretty crazy to do. For probably for the average person, it takes a lot of willpower, which is what I wouldn't suspect of school kids for sure. I guess what I'm saying is it might seem that way, but see, this documentary I watched, they talked about all this stuff where like kids hide vapes down their sleeves so they can like discreetly vape into their own clothes. It's crazy. Interesting fact: one of the main ingredients in vape is oil, but some sort, usually vegetable. It coats the lungs and prevents oxygen intake. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken on vaping before in the past, but having had more time to think about it and learn more about it since I last talked about it, one of the really important things to point out is that it took 30 years or so to dismantle, like, the whole smoking thing, right? Like, it started small, and then it took 30 years to beat the industry and to turn around the consensus on if smoking was good or bad for you. But also in that time, we learned about what it actually does to you. And I remember when I first heard about vaping, I'd heard that there were studies saying that like it was safe. And you know, these studies take a long time to really find out what the effects are. You've got an epidemic happening in America where teens are taking up vaping left, right and centre. They're getting hooked on nicotine. Now what you can't say is that it's safe and it'll be alright and they'll be fine, because they have to grow up, they have to get to 40 and 50, and they have to spend all those years vaping for us to then properly learn what the consequences of it are, right? It's a long way to go. And you know, the thing with science and research is any topic you want to go learn up and look about, there's just studies saying this and that, and this one contradicts that one contradicts this one. It takes a fair bit of time for the scientific community to get consensus on things in some cases, maybe not in all. Satanistic Angel says, I really don't want to start smoking or vaping, mainly because I don't want to end up addicted to cigarettes like my mother. Well, that's a good motivation. I'd stick with that. You know, don't get sucked into it. Pun, possibly. Big Up says, so I guess they don't know if vaping is worse or is smoking yet. Well, I think by most fair estimates, it would appear to be a better alternative to smoking, right? But the important thing to point out there is that we're talking about it being an alternative. So that when we say better than smoking, the word better is probably misleading the way we think about it, the way we interact with it, the way we feel about it. What we should probably be saying is it's doing less harm. It's probably doing less harm. If you think about vaping as something that's less harmful than smoking, the word harm should be the important thing there to notice. You know, we haven't evolved to suck in big clouds of vapor into our lungs. They're not just water vapor, they've got chemicals in them. Some of the deaths that have been happening recently that have been linked to vaping are from the quality control of the vape substances not being up to, you know, FDA standards. So, you know, you get yourself a bad product, and it's yeah, it could be a bad thing in general. My score is terrible. These kids bring jewels in from the US and sell them. Anyone else live in a place like that? Says Turnip Time. Jewel are basically the company that got the monopoly on this whole vaping thing. They made their products very slick and appealing to young people. You know, their products look like USB keys, and yeah, they're sort of responsible for a lot of this. Let's say is not as bad as smoking rather than it's better. I think both sound like not as bad. No, how do you want to say it? Less harmful. I mean, when we substitute in the word that says harm for saying better, that's one step. But then less, you know, it's more harmful sounds worse than it's less harmful, right? It's harm reduction, says Gstav. Yes. But taking a harm reduction project when you're not when you're not smoking to begin with, that is only inducing harm, right? Taubar says more addictive but less harmful. It could potentially be more harmful in the long run. We really don't know. You know, like we're comparing it to smoking, and they're very similar for being things that you ingest into the lungs. They're also different. Smoke and vapor are different. I mean, the reason we know how bad smoking is because people did it for many decades, and then it just became, you know, easier and easier and clearer to show that it was smoking causing all of these problems, right? Because so many people did it. Who knows what might be in the line for vaping? There might be some horrendous lung diseases that develop if you vape for more than 3 or 4 years or something, right? Maybe it takes 10 or 20, but like, we just don't know. Just don't know. Surprise T says, vaping sucks your money. Don't you have enough mandatory expenses? Yeah, that's another thing with, you know, we had that tips video on Asuma Says about financial tips and whatnot. That's another thing that, you know, keeps your wallet drained, is having a habit like that. It'll drain your wallet. Bad Foxy Fox says, I've been here for 5 minutes. Why is he talking about vaping? Well, because it's a thing that's happening in the world, and I've got thoughts and opinions on it, and so have many of you in chat, and you're welcome to share them. We've got Aloax here for 21 months, saying getting close to 2 years. Indeed, my friend. A Twitch name is here for 3 months. Thank you, a Twitch name. Appreciate it. Jiffy J14 for 34 months. We got Puzzle Freck for 25 months, saying I play a few games, Minecraft, Destiny 2 and Overwatch, along with a few others like Factorio, Terraria, etc. All a lot of creative sandbox games. What am I to do when Tuesdays are the day my game developers decide to update them and I want to play them all? Puzzle Freck, play them if they got updates. I don't see what the problem is. Thank you for 25 months, I appreciate it. Monkeyman5733 is here, subscribing with Amazon Prime, and Speeder2889 is here with cheers and bits, saying, are you going to starting New World for Hermit Crab? Literally says Hermit Crab Season 7. When we do a season, we typically do it in a new world, so that's quite likely. Kenny McCormick says, I have been smoking cigarettes for a year now because of my mum, and I'm trying to quit. Any advice, X? By the way, I'm 16. I've got several different types of advice, because I think if you want to do something like that, the main thing you should do is keep that at the forefront of your mind, that you want to quit this thing, and keep looking for ways to do it. Keep trying. Don't give up, you know. So what I would suggest, which I think is, I don't know, does it work for most people? It always depends on what type of person you are, right? You know, gradual cutting down and giving up. You know, when you give something like that up, you've got to embrace the suck, right? It sucks to do it, okay? You can't make out like it's hunky-dory, it's going to be all great. It sucks, but the more of that suck that you can accept, then in a way, if you're going to endure that, you can get to your goal in the end, because it will get not as difficult with time. Now, you might be the sort of person that can go, do you know what, I'm going to go cold turkey, I'm going to just give these up, and I'm going to embrace the suck, and then, you know, over time it'll be less and less of a problem. But maybe that doesn't work for you, so maybe take the gradual approach. Maybe be like, hey, today I'm going to just smoke 1 less cigarette than normal. In a week from now it'll be 2 less, then 3 less, you know? Do it a bit at a time. Realise that, hey, it's not so bad if I go a few more hours without a cigarette, and then eventually, maybe you won't need one at all, right? But the most important thing is every time you fall back down, you get back up again, okay? Like, you try something, it doesn't work, you give in, you end up smoking a lot one day or something. That's fine. Just recuperate and get back on track with trying. That's what I think is important. People are talking about Pickle Rick in chat. Big Up says, there is much worse things than vaping kids do where I live. They are all going to a concert tonight, and I can guarantee they will drink and probably do some molly. And they're 15, says Big Up. Yeah, but we shouldn't diminish a conversation about something damaging because there are other things elsewhere that are damaging. Unless you're talking about something that's in direct proportion. Like if you're making a decision and you're overlooking something, then sure. But, yeah, I don't think there's a reason to say, oh, there's this other worse thing, so don't focus on that thing, right? Let's take these things for some repairs. I have plenty of rockets. That's very, very good. Very good in the hood, homie. I feel like the only thing we're going to do this stream is just dig a hole. And I'll be fine with it. It's what streaming's for, right? We do the grind, we have a chat. Iane says, have you ever smoked X? Yeah, I used to smoke. Didn't feel comfortable talking about it for the longest time. And then I made a video on my second channel about it. I was quite fortunate to not ever really be a heavy smoker. And quitting for me was about gradual progress. Literal, psychological, gradual progress, you know. There was a period where I went 3 months without smoking a cigarette, smoked a couple, went another 3 months without smoking a cigarette, smoked a couple one night, and then after that, it weren't long after that that it dawned on me that, like, hey, that's a really long time to go without cigarettes. Like, it's almost getting pointless to smoke now because it didn't bother me to not smoke at that point. Is it normal to hold your breath when going past smokers, says Honeysecco. Yeah, it's disgusting, I do it. Like, there ain't nothing good about smoking. You don't want those, that dirty cigarette smoke in your lungs. God, no. Okay, take these ones off. Japan has so many smokers, says Big Up. That sounds familiar, that statistic. There are countries and places with high amounts of smokers. I wouldn't be surprised if Japan was one. Paddy Foxy Fox says, smoking is disgusting. I only some when I have lots of work. That's a bit of a strange sentence. Oh, hilarious. I'm reading chat. I'm just gonna pick out. I'm gonna pick out a question. Puzzle Freck says smoking makes you cool. Yeah, actually doesn't. Like, it's a perspective thing. You might think it's cool. Someone else can equally think it's stupid, like myself. Like, if I look back at some old pictures of myself and there's a cigarette in my hand, I'm not going, oh, I look so cool. I'm like, you idiot. What were you doing to your lungs? I generally like to let people do what they please, but it does upset me when parents smoke around kids, says Princess Gob. Yeah, that annoys me too. Never like that. Zachariah is here for 15 months. Thank you, Zachariah. Appreciate it. Unabuja is here subscribing with Amazon Prime. And another JT is here for 31 months, saying, after a while, I have run out of new ways to say thanks for the great content. Well, I appreciate the message. Just keep it plain and simple. I appreciate it nonetheless, you know. Oh, leather jacket's cool, says Victor. Only if you smoke. That was a joke, peeps. That was a joke. Do you like dogs? If yes, what breed? Says Aiden K. I like all dogs. I like all animals. They're wonderful. They are friends of the earth. Let's cruise on down to the yellow brick road. And let's turn our sound back up. Yes, I'm glad I remembered. Very important. Need to hear the game. You know, need to hear it. Listen out for those creepers. You know, if I've got my volume turned off, I'll never hear them coming. TechQuest says, I used to smoke, and I will not lie, it was the toughest thing in my life to quit. Even years later, I still get a craving from time to time, says TechQuest. Yeah, it is a tough thing to do, very tough thing to do, but if you can do that, then there's other things you can do, you know, you can turn it into a positive, right? If you could do that, think of all the other things that ain't so tough you should probably be doing, or should probably quit, or change this, or change that. Yeah, the other thing is, like, I don't have cravings for it at all anymore. I think maybe if, like, let's say, like, the world was going to end, you know, and, like, I don't know, it's so easy to say that, like, oh, if the world was going to end, that would actually be, like, pretty devastating place to be for a lot of people, right? Like, it would be, like, communal depression. So maybe it would be really unpleasant in general, but I always think of a scenario like that, and I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, I'd probably just, why not, you know? But then again, like, it's rank as well. I don't know how you get into it. Like, I don't know how I got into it. It's rank. It's literally disgusting. So I'm not sure if I would if the world was going to end. Sofa Adams says, I was addicted to energy drinks. Fully ruined my life. Kidney problems and everything now. Really? That sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. Actually talk about that from time to time, about how terrible energy drinks are. I didn't know that they could be that bad. I mean, I just kind of assumed, like, you know, grogginess and lack of energy and whatnot. That's crazy. Let's make this room like a tiny bit bigger overall. We're gonna call that the corner, and go like this. Oh, perfect height. Gonna make it a little bit bigger on all sides. Feel like I might start placing in the ice now as well, so we can start to build the room out around it. Oh yeah, and I should put away some of these tools. Energy drinks are illegal in some countries, says Acid 1000 UK. That's good to know. They are generally, for the most part, pretty lousy. X, what do you think about Gfuel, says Big Up. I don't know what Gfuel is, but I do see some YouTubers like, and if I'm getting the names wrong, I apologise, but KSI, I believe, is one of them, selling these, like, supplement-y energy-looking drinks, and I don't really know much about them, but they're advertised in a way where they look like they're trash, basically. They look like those trashy things you don't really need to be drinking. It's a powered energy drink. I mean, just the concept of energy drink is ridiculous. Like, energy comes from good nutritional food. You know? Things that make you energetic are being in shape, good diet, and rest. Rest well. I worked out today, and I tell you what, it was getting real tough towards the end. And I know that's a sign of two things. One, that I'm, like, adequately pushing myself, which is what I want to do. I want to get into that, you know, soak up as much energy as you can. But rest. I went to a gig last night, I got about 6 hours of sleep, maybe a bit less, and it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. You can feel the energy come out of you as you're getting towards the end of that workout. What am I looking for? It's in my, I'm looking for the thing in my inventory. Typical. What was the gig, says Tech Taste? It was Deb in Townsend, and it was wonderful, it was beautiful, it was amazing. It always is with Deb. The only energy drink is a cup of Earl Grey with a kilo of sugar. So yeah, you can, you know, sugar if you wanted immediate energy would not be the worst suggestion, right? But are you a hydro homie? What is a hydro homie? Jeez, sounds amazing. That totally just skipped my brain out, basically. Now I don't know what we're talking about. Is this also like relative to the corner? That's kind of what I wanted to do over here. Relative to the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point I was making a second ago, talking about working out, was just the value of sleep. I know it because, like I said, when I do my workouts, you're pretty much soaking up most of your like current available energy to get this workout done. And every time I've had a less than adequate amount of sleep, I feel it in my workout. So, you know, if you're dealing with feeling sluggish and energetic, you don't feel fired up in the morning, I'm telling you, it's about diet and nutrition. It's not about having a coffee or an energy drink. Caffeine makes you feel awake and stimulated and energetic, but it doesn't mean it's giving you energy. It's not what it's doing. It should be used with purpose. Slightly confused as water is magical. Speaking of which, let's drink some water. I've got some water right here. I love water, my favourite drink. Zodiac Siren has gifted a sub to Zombie Cleo. We got Cleo with us. Oh, I see Cleo in chat. Zodiac Siren, thank you ever so much for supporting the community. Appreciate it. Cleo, welcome to the stream. How are things? The primary function of caffeine is pain suppression, says Bear Gogo. I've never heard it described like that before. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe it also interacts with your pain receptors. I'm not entirely sure. Sam Sky Magpie says, as much as water sucks, it's better than caffeine. Water does not suck. Your body is like 70% water. It is like the lifeblood. It's not blood, it's water, but you know what I mean. It's literally like one of the most important things in your body, to have lots of water, to keep hydrated. Is that why I'm a hydro homie? Is it because I stay hydrated? That's another thing as well. Like I'm quite like really tuned into my body. Like I can feel it when like I'm dehydrated, and yeah, I know it because I drink so much water throughout the day. What do you think about pre-workout supplements, says Oxon567. I would like to hear your opinions on that, actually, because I'm really like I'm really in the dark on it. I've heard some stuff say it's nonsense, other things say it is. You know, a lot of anecdotal evidence out there around it. I hear people that seem to really know what they're doing when it comes to all that stuff talk about using it and say it's good, and then I've heard people that really seem to know what they're doing say the opposite. I don't do anything other than have a meal, like 2 hours to 90 minutes before a workout. That's it. You know, the food is the energy, is my thinking there. Gfuel has no sugar and is made with real fruit powders. I have the ingredients label in my hand. It has vitamin C, E, B6 and B12. I'd still be a bit suspect. What are fruit powders? That does not sound... Like, saying real fruit powders, to me, sounds like saying real fruit flavours, right? Like, doesn't mean real fruit, does it? Like, what are fruit powders? Fruit is a lot of sugar, says Black Jack. Yeah, fructose sugar, not processed sugar. A thing that's a good idea to distinguish, I believe. You don't need supplements if you eat right, says White Noise. Not quite true, but yeah, for the most part, yeah. Unless you have needs that your like diet can't fulfill, then supplements play another role. Like today, what did I eat today? Because I didn't need any supplements at all today. I had chicken in my fajitas. That's a lot of protein. What was it I had for lunch? I've already forgotten. Oh yeah, I had like kale and all this other stuff that was full of protein as well. Alright, I'm totally slowing down. I'm totally slowing down. What are we doing? Right, we've got to come up with something for here. I feel like what I should do is take the distance here and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 and then place another one of these, right? Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we'll continue this distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and then we'll turn this thing into an actual square room centered around these ice blocks. Brilliant. I know what I'm doing. Let's continue. Let's continue. Wesley Honging says chicken is the best meat because it is the most climate friendly. It is, yeah. I believe there is some truth to that. However, you know, if you want to be real climate friendly, eat less meat overall if you can. I was vegetarian for like 6 or 7 years. I tell you what, meat's tasty. You know, good cooked meat is great in a meal. I could take it or leave it most of the time. I think the best thing about food and cuisine is rarely the meat for me. It's all the other stuff. Slushy Animation is here for 3 months saying, to you and everyone on the stream, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Slushy Animation. I like your attitude. I like it. Pendle Luft is here with cheers and bits and no message. So Pendle Luft, thank you ever so much for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate the bits, the support, and hope you're enjoying the stream. We had a question in chat from Big Up asking us what I think about spending money at Christmas. You know, Christmas is like very traditional, family oriented, right? And every year, I mean, I think when I was a bit younger, I used to like try and say, hey, let's not do presents and whatnot, right? But just get totally sucked into it every year. Yeah, we are, obviously, it's a very consumeristic holiday now, right? We all supposed to buy presents for each other. And it means, you know, people buy loads of wrapping paper that goes in the bin. People buy each other things they don't really need because they feel like they need to get them a present. There are many reasons to criticize it, but it is a great time for people to get together and appreciate one another and family. And I think you'd have a hard time trying to change those traditions, but I would love the idea of making Christmas less about spending money and more about being economic, but usually you try and break tradition and people resist it, you know. I think I'm going to need to just leave a chest in this area now, you know. Let's go put down a chest and fill it up with stuff. I used to eat chicken, but then I've met a rooster and he let me hug him and I pet him and I've never been able to eat chicken again. I feel too guilty, says Sam Sky Magpie. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I think when we eat food, we can be disconnected from the source. You know, you don't see it as an animal a lot of the time. I was watching this like vegan movie thing just the other day, actually, and they were talking about how like, oh yeah, have you noticed how with meat, like they're changing the name of it so you don't think about the animal. Why don't they call it cow? Why do they call it beef? Why don't they call it pig? Why do they call it bacon? And immediately, because I do this for everything I hear now, I think, okay, what is the opposite to that then? And I thought, oh, chicken? You get, you know, chicken wings, chicken breast, duck, venison, you know, wild boar, and then there's all the fish, you know. What's the name of salmon? What do you eat when you have salmon? Tuna. It's the name of the fish, you know. So their 2 examples were like the only examples, basically. Oh, I really do wish they would try and not try so hard to like make meat evil. Like just give people like the real facts and let them figure it out for themselves. Because some people ain't going to be as offended by factory farming as others, right? Like everyone sees the world differently, but it just doesn't work in your favour to tell porkies, you know, to obscure things. And when I watch these movies, these documentaries, they do that so often. It's just like, you're not helping your own cause. I heard the reason meat has different names is because the rich people ate the meat, called it one thing, and farmers called it other things. I would be in no way surprised if it had more of a backstory like that than the meat industry calling it, because, you know, the meat industry wasn't really the meat industry as it is today once upon a time. I don't know how long we've been calling bacon bacon for, but It might even outdate the current industry. Who knows? Research needs to be done. Pork comes from the old French word pork. This is trying ban. The old French word pork. I thought it would have come from the old French word egg, honestly. That's where I would have thought pork would have come from. That old word. Zombie Cleo says, I kind of want to poke him about this. Well, isn't... You can say what you want to say, Cleo. Send a message. I don't even like bacon, says Nick Smith. I don't like it either. Too salty. Don't really like the taste of it. Okay, so now here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. We could put a glass wall between these two areas, right? So they can be part of a bigger thing together. I really don't have ideas for this. I'm just realising this sounds naff. Just like the idea of a glass wall for some reason. Or maybe it's not. Maybe there's like a glass wall between the whole thing. So these are like two big sections here. Alright, glass wall. You've got to get from one side to the other. Now, because the room's big, we can actually make all of this stuff even bigger in a way. We could go right to the edge if we wanted to. So let's see what happens if we make a little free wide thing over here. Start messing around with potential layout. Gonna need more ice down here. Uncle B Joe is here with Amazon Prime, and Endgame X is also with the Prime for 5 months. And you've both reminded me that I want to watch the next episode of Vikings on Prime later on. Thanks. X needs his Vikings. To be fair, that show's gotten less and less interesting season by season. You know, I've noticed when you watch a lot of TV shows like that, that the most exciting stuff is like all these new characters and what's going to happen and this unfolding drama. But then it just settles and it just keeps turning the wheel, the same wheel, and its old tricks just kind of like fall wayside. And I certainly feel that way this season so far, like with that show. Don't know if anyone out there is a fan. If you feel the same way, if not, you can share your thoughts and opinions here. Because why not? Is that note blocks I hear? There's definitely note blocks. Zombie Cleo says, less taking, more having. Those words forced us on from the invasion in this instance. Say what? Less taking, more having. Vikings kind of got boring after Ragnar, says Isla Cass MC. Yeah, it would time pretty well with his demise, wouldn't it? Like, as he faded from the show, the new characters didn't really take it in the right direction. I don't know, you know. I don't know if it's just a symptom of getting used to it or whatnot. Oh, okay, right. That explains that bit. So we can have it, you know, do this big old shape, so then you're going to end up... Like, this is going to be a ridiculously long hole, basically. And I'm just trying to think of ways that there could be a trick shot. Maybe the problem here is that I'm trying to build a layout rather than develop something that makes sense first, right? Why do you think Season 6 has been so successful so far? If you meant Vikings, I was like, what? But this season, I think Grian joining us just, you know, like obviously he brought a lot of people over here, but then his whole storyline way of looking at the game really kind of just made so much more going on than just playing Minecraft. So I think that's probably the main, you know, reason for the success this season, is just that he came in and shook the boat. Badger Spanner is here gifting subs. Badger, thank you ever so much for supporting the community and gifting the subs. I appreciate it as always. We got Kiara, Luna, Faye, Nixie's Pixies, Bass Millis, Duolingo Owl, and Blind Wombat 223. Thank you ever so much again, Badger. Can't thank you enough for doing that. Zombie Clear says, I'm going to die because X gives me a freaking aneurysm for reading the wrong message. I read the message you put in chat. Jeez, what other message is there? Oh, goodness me. Oh, the follies of streaming and chats. Thank you again, Badger. Do appreciate it. Betty Baghdaddy is here for 20 months. Saying, apparently I'm resubbing today. If you hold the position that it is ethical to eat meat, can you name the trait present / lacking in animals that if present / lacking in humans would justify killing humans for food? Cheeky message, but sorry. Let me read it again then. No cheeky messages here. You can ask whatever you want to. I'm not sure I do hold... I'll tell you what my position on eating meat is. Can you name the trait present / lacking? So present and lacking are opposites in animals that if present / lacking in humans would justify killing humans. So something in them or not in them that if we're parallel to us would justify killing humans for food. Okay, so here's how I'd answer your question. First of all, let's caveat my personal ethics on meat. I don't really think there is something wrong with eating an animal. I just think that factory farming is disgusting. You know, like to paint a bit of a picture, imagine you grew up living on a farm, and not like an industrial farm, a small one out in the hills of Wales, like ones I visited in my childhood, and you know, you tended to the animals, you worked off the land, and when an animal got old, you did what you did, and then it became your food, and you'd sell some of it off. Like, that is much more in harmony with nature, I think, than factory farming. So that level of farming, you know, and if you've got a problem with that, what about hunting for food in the wild when you actually need to eat, you know? Also doesn't seem like such a terrible thing to me. It's factory farming that I find disgusting. So the meat that I consume, I get from the butchers, and I ask them where they get it from, and they get it from local farms in the area. Those farms actually might be horrendous. I don't know, but like, it's a better thing to pick. You know, I'm assuming they're good, you know, because I talked to them about the factory farming. They understood why I was asking and said no, it's from local farms. So I'm assuming it's all good. Tonkylicious is here for 11 months. Tonkylicious, I like your username, and thank you ever so much for subscribing. So as for like traits in animals that justify, I think ethics is a strange thing because it's kind of built on top of evolution. Ethics is like almost a byproduct of evolution, because when you describe things happening in terms of actual reality, the world is just what, like atoms and things obeying the laws of physics and chemical reactions, and then somehow in the complexity from that emerge humans with thoughts, emotions and consciousness, and they have ideas of ethics, what's wrong and right. But like, do we even have any way of quantifying wrong or right as if it was something like gravity? Can you E equals MC squared gravity? No. Gravity, ethics. So I would look at it like, look at what's happening in nature. It's a part of the process of evolution that animals consume one another. So if you have a problem with eating meat because you see the animal as a creature, keep in mind that all food is part of life and part of the chain. Animals live on a level of consciousness that appears to be closer to us, but what about plants? I mean, they are living things until you eat them, are they not? What about you? You are full of many different layers of living things. You know, you have your micro gut biome, you got all kinds of bacteria and whatnot that live inside you that Penny Baghdaddy says, I'm asking you a subjective ethics, not anything else. You're just getting an answer from me. This is my answer, you know? Like, it ain't that easy. It ain't that simple. There ain't no one answer. And anyway, like, life is just all madly interconnected, especially like when you zoom out and when you zoom in. I found something out about Jupiter the other day that just like, when you're at this level here and you like zoom in and look down, you can start to see the symbiotic existence, right? That you are you, but actually you're made up of your your different oh my god, the words won't come to me. Organs, organisms, organs. You made up your different organs. Your organs got different parts to them. The more you zoom in, you find out that there's all these bacteria and little things living and interacting, and that goes down into an even smaller level. Like, it's all, you know, it's all like symbiotic on many different scales. But when you zoom out from planet Earth, we become this little ball floating in the vastness of space, right? I found out this amazing thing about Jupiter the other day. Apparently the size of Jupiter and its composition means that it draws in a lot of asteroids towards it with gravity, and actually shields us and other planets from lots of dangers that come through space, like asteroids or solar flares or other things like that. I was like, there it is. There's that symbiotic existence, right? You might look at Jupiter and think it's just some big, like, you know, floating rock. Isn't Jupiter actually nothing but like gases? You can't actually stand on its surface. But anyway, you might just see it in the night sky and think, oh, that's Jupiter, you know, big old blob gazillions of miles away. But actually, it's serving a purpose for us here on life. Without Jupiter, we probably wouldn't exist. Like, it's just crazy. Zombie Cleo says, the science teacher in me is dying a little here. Why, Cleo? Please elaborate. Please elaborate. Have I gotten something wrong? Because I believe I have not. Sam Sky Magpie says, thank you, Jupiter. That's all Jupiter ever wanted. Just a little thank you. Anyway, greatest example would be the sun. Everyone understands, I think, if you got rid of the sun, then it would just be game over, right? Cleo, go and give it to you. Says Pony Hunter. Everyone being twitching says he's not wrong. If certain events didn't happen leading up to Jupiter's massive size, Earth would not have happened. There you go. Someone's backing me up here. You're appealing to nature. Basic fallacy. It is natural force yourself on other women to spread your genes. Does that mean we should do it? No, of course not. We are more intelligent and can reason a better way of living. I mean, that's a fair point, but what is wrong with my answer then of just saying, I mean, appealing to nature? I don't know, because if I don't have a problem with eating an animal, like, at what scale does it end? Because everything's on a scale. Like, where is the line? Like, animals to insects to other things. Zombie Cleo says, honestly, dude, if I even told you, you'd miss the message. You can message me on Discord. I got it open. I was waiting for your message, Cleo, you know. What am I trying to say here? Like, from a plant that you would eat up to an animal, there are all sorts of different scales of life on all the different species and things that exist on this earth, right? So where's the cutting off point then? You know, where is that cutting off point? Where is it like, oh, now that's okay, but that one's not? Because a lot of like crop farming involves killing animals as well, right? Like, you're happy eating your vegetables and whatnot, but like, what about all the rabbits that get killed to stop them going and eating them? You know, like, I wasn't making equivocance to saying false equivocance. At this point I've lost you, but you know, I appreciate the input. Tech Taste says, I guess that's where veganism comes in. Right, but like, you know, if you try and go vegan because you don't want to hurt animals, like, don't be fooled into thinking that growing crops means no animal gets harmed, I guess is what I'm saying. I was explaining why appealing to nature is a bad way of reasoning. You'd have to elaborate more, because it's one of the ones that makes sense to me. Bit says, if everyone has to be vegan, you got to plant so much soil fields you would end up destroying the rainforest and whatnot. Kind of, well, yeah, maybe the rainforest, but like, animal farming takes up so much more space, time and resources. If people switch to eating vegetarian and vegan, it would have a smaller impact on the planet by far. Anyway, we've done nothing here. I'm supposed to be, look, I need some redstone. I'm supposed to redstone this, okay? I don't know what to do. I've got no brain ideas. We could use a minecart maybe that like could potentially pick up the thing that we're going to throw. I'm waiting for that message, Cleo. Make the trick shot have a detriment. If you make it cut a huge section, but if not, then you get set back a layer. I like that idea. I wonder if we can scale it several times. Oh, I guess the minecart can... the minecart can dispense things back. Like, we can put it into a dispenser further back. Beef farms take up about 80% of agricultural land, I think. I may be wrong. It's pretty massive. It's pretty, like, 10 to 1, I think. Maybe even bigger than that, depending on what factors you look at. But for the most part, switching away to eating less meat and more vegetables is way better for the planet. Def Dealer says the early solar system was a dangerous place, hundreds of planetoids colliding and in unstable orbits, and to think that one of those impacts resulted in the creation of the moon. Thinking about space is truly amazing. I couldn't agree more. Space is just wonderful. Okay, I've got some messages now. Let's see who they're from. I'm just winding up Cleo, I think. Apparently I'm not wrong about the planet stuff. Good to know. Good to know. So yeah, a minecart could go like around this area. I was just wondering, could we have it as like one big interconnected thing as well? It'd probably be better to do some of what we're doing here in creative mode as well, I think. Not on Hermitcraft, of course. Rock said on a video that you have a very carefully planned out agenda. What's it about? Who is Rock and what? The Rock? What are we talking about? I don't have an agenda. I just, you know, speak my thoughts. Speak my mind. Sean5 is here for 7 months in a row. Sean5, thank you ever so much. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Do you have a Discord server? Says Big Up. I do. Discord.gg/Asuma. That is the one. Man, so many opinions in chat right now. It's one of those streams. Oh, I'm so unsure about what to do here. I guess maybe just placing some rails down and trying to visualize something. So if we think about how many shots have been taken so far, like this is going to be a lot of shots on this run, right? So they're really going to add up. I feel like when you're down here, you're going to possibly get in a bit fatigued. I think I might abandon that redstone idea I had up the top as well, if we're going to do something big with redstone down here. So all right, Cleo. Okay then. I have a text with the title Birth of the Earth, and there is nothing about Jupiter, says Talbar. Okay. Brixbury is here subscribing with Amazon Prime. So, chat is full of like opinions and topics and stuff, and I'm trying to get away from that and figure out what I'm going to do here, and I just can't do it. Yeah, I should at least place some rails. So we can have like minecarts going back and forth. They can be hidden in the walls a bit, so there's like delays coming out to the edge and then going back again. So obviously you've got to time your shot, so you go past them, it might get picked up, but where does it get dispensed? You know, you'd assume back over there, but I don't really want to make this too grindy. We could then put a hopper here and have it like go over here. I think the idea of making this like parallel as well is a little bit hindering, maybe. Aprover is here, gifting subs. Aprover, thank you for the gifted subs. Chicken Rider 345, Plasmaphonics, Basil 3044, Plodo, and Banner Mana Ghost 436. Thank you ever so much. I appreciate it and hope you're enjoying the stream. Diet says, so what you were saying is that all animals have a brain and that all animals with a brain have a will. If it's ethical to eat something without a brain, would you say it's unethical to eat animals like sea starts, jellyfish, sea urchins and other animals without a brain? Interesting question. That was aimed at Betty Baghdadi as well. No, I'm all up for hearing like another side of opinion. I'm just not really sure if I get where you're coming from either. What song is this? I don't think I've heard this song before. Oh, it's from the 2 Years of Failure record. I don't think we've actually played this one in a stream before. Badger says this is amazing. What, the Minecraft action that's going on right now? Or the song? Probably the song. Fun fact, if you were to place all the planets directly next to each other, excluding the Earth and moons, they will fit between Earth and the moon when the moon is at its highest rotation. Huh. That doesn't sound right to me, but okay. I mean, depends on the distance, doesn't it? People generally considered as needing to eat meat. It's natural for ethics to take that as a given. The whole course on this level is pretty straightforward. Just a big curve with a hole cut to the corners, but if you miss the drops in the hopper to take you back to the beginning stages. Maybe. I was thinking we should probably experiment with something here. I'm really going to need to figure out what on earth I'm going to do for the next live stream because I'm supposed to build this. This should be done by the next live stream and I'm pretty clueless at the moment. Where's all my leftover... Oh, it should be that one, right? Oh, is that really all I've got? Oh, there's the lime. Okay, so what I was looking for is already down here. That's, you know, great. Then I need a snow block and a shovel that doesn't have silk touch. And do a little experiment. So if I throw that onto the carpet, yeah, ha. So if we use rails, that's a weird one, isn't it? Let's maybe not use rails. What other things have we got at our disposal here? Water streams. Benny Baghdadi says, I don't know of many vegans that think killing an animal for any reason is wrong. We as a society even have circumstances where we accept killing humans. Of course, animals will die no matter what. What as long as we live on this planet. I think, however, that it would be ridiculous to use that as a justification to kill any animal for any reason. Animals will die in crop farming. Is there any chance I could have this discussion with you via email or anything? Yeah, you can email me if you want to. Like, any animal for any reason. Like, you can't have any reason to do that. Like, I'm starving to death is not a reason. Obviously, in modern society, that isn't an issue most of the time, right? Not saying it is, but... I just don't get the reasoning here. I don't see, like, what the point is, I guess. Anyway, yeah, feel free to email me if you want to continue with that. Like, I am truly open to, like, listening to a different opinion and, like, trying to understand the other way of looking at it. It's pretty hard to figure that out, though, like, just over a Twitch chat, I guess. We could use water down here. I so don't know what to do. Maybe we could have dispensers on a timer that, like, flush water. Betty Baghdadi says, that's what I'm saying. There are circumstances where it is acceptable. Yeah, but those circumstances are going to be so individual, right? Like, the thing as a whole is just endless opinion that people have. Opinions. That would go out one block further, actually, wouldn't it? If it were to fill up the whole space. Do items activate redstone ore? You could add a hidden pop-out blockade just to be annoying. What about observers and pistons? Snake-like lava game. Betty Baghdadi says that's what morality is. Right, but I mean, yeah, but it's just, I guess, it feels like when you're arguing or debating with someone, it's always about who's right. I'm right, you're wrong, that kind of thing. And at the end of the day, like I said earlier, to me, it's almost like ethics, wrong and right, they're not actually real. They're just mechanics of evolution and survival. They're things that having made us useful to survive. So it just makes the whole thing just kind of like a bit crazy when someone else is telling you, you know, their way's right and your way's wrong. 8 Brother says I completely missed the beginning of this conversation. Sam Sky Magpie says no, debate should be about both sides learning more about the topic. I like that attitude. Yeah, it should. But that's why I like talking about it and hearing from chat and their comments and stuff. I guess it's just difficult when you don't get it, what the other person is saying. X, my experience with debates isn't a need to be right, more so a need to be heard, and when both sides are shouting at each other and no one's communicating, they understand. The debates don't go anywhere. Yeah. What was being debated, says Kalisik? The ethics of eating meat. By the way, Spitzy98 is here subscribing with Amazon Prime. Spitzy, thank you ever so much for your subscription, dude. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream, having a good time. Sumer, I suggest reading some philosophy books. Is it possible to see ethics and most debates as equal for both sides? One philosophical concept you were talking about was called mereology and purdurantism. Right, anyway, I'm going to read Cleo's message quickly. The reason why English has the name cow and word beef is because the Norman invasion of 1066. The French were now in charge and ate the meat. So cooked meat used the word beef in French, and the cow in the field would still be cow. Before we would use cow for both. That's interesting. That's cool. Yeah. And what I was saying earlier when I was bringing that all up was that, you know, this thing that I watched was saying that the meat industry created that, right? That they created the different names for it. That's how this whole thing got started, was just I was saying, you know, you don't help yourself when you're trying to put across an opinion or like a point of view and then you tell porkies. Or, you know, you bend the truth to your will. Like, there's no need to say it's like a meat industry propaganda thing to distance us from the animal itself, right? There you go, there's a little bit of history. It goes back to 1066. Tell porkies or tell beefies? Both, either. There is definitely a pun in saying porkies. That was the point of saying it. That's a very specific to English though. We don't have that in German. We call it pig both ways. There you go, yeah. Probably different in different places, right? Yeah, oversimplified on YouTube. Sorry if the mention like that is iffy in chat. Did a video on how the English language changed with the Battle of Hastings. I'm sure lots of events and things that have happened have caused language to change. I mean, war would make a... Like, going back to thousands of years to when war was very common and places got invaded and overrun by other people, you could clearly... It's not like a stretch of the imagination to see that language could be changed through events like that. You know, and shaped differently. That's why we have two words, says Cleo. There we go. Thank you for teaching us, Cleo. Thank you ever so much. Peeps, if it isn't obvious, I am absolutely stumped on what I'm going to do for this. And this is pretty much my next priority. So I am going to give myself the time between this stream and the next one to figure out what I'm going to do down here. Because I ain't got a plan and nothing's coming to mind. So I need to figure that out. By the way, the next stream is on Sunday at around the same time, and it's part of the Hermitcraft Livestream day. So be sure to go to livestream.hermitcraft.com. I always say that the wrong way around. It's so annoying. So very annoying. This is where we're going to wrap this one up. So massive thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated, and cheered. As always, I appreciate your support. I hope you've been entertained. This will be uploaded to the second channel. And right now we're going to go and raid the Ren Diggity Dog who is playing the Funcraft. So be sure to hit that raid button in chat if you want to participate and go see what Ren's up to playing modded Minecraft. But that's it from me. So thank you again everyone. I'll see you all soon in another one. Bye bye.